I made it. I'm at a comic book show, a comic convention. I've got people to meet and places to go. I'm going to find out what makes a comic book a comic book. And I want to find out at what age somebody gets into the mindset of doing a comic book. I wonder if they start this when they're 18 or 20 or 30. Tybach started at about 7. He thinks that's unique. I bet you Tybach is just like every other red-blooded kid. Except for he's green-blooded. What do I know? Anyway, let's go check everybody out. Let's see what we can go. Walk with me.
First of all, I'd like to personally thank Jeremy Bullock, who's here today, Boba Fett of Star Wars. He's here, we're doing some signing and stuff. We've also got Apollo Smile will be performing in the panel discussion room today at 2 and 4 o'clock. Other than that, we've got some catering, last-minute catering. We got some stuff going on in the cafe. We got some guys cooking up some stuff for you. So if you like to get something to eat or drink, you can step right up to the Big Apple Cafe and grab something really quick. Oh, by the way, folks, I don't know if anybody knows this yet, but they are actually working on a script to make an X-Men movie. They're actually working on an X-Men movie. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be something. I wonder who's going to be playing who in that movie. But anyway, right now, as we promised, every hour, we're going to be giving away tickets for the new movie, Anastasia. Right here, I have a pair of tickets to see Anastasia's 8:30 showing at the Ziegfeld Theater tonight. So I hope everybody's filled out their raffle cards because I'm going to be pulling out some names, and the first one who responds will win a pair of tickets to see Anastasia tonight.
Well, I love comic books. And I'm at a comic book show, and of course that's where you find comic books. Hi there, I'm Zenbock, and you are?
My name's Hawkeye. How are you?
Hi there, Hawkeye. So, you see you got yourself here all set up today and ready to go.
Yes, indeed. I'm glad you were able to make it.
Yeah, we kind of beamed in here, and a little traffic on the roads, but I just beam in.
Excellent. I wish some of our customers were able to do that, you know?
Yeah, well, the weather, at least they're not on the other side, the Connecticut side, where it's wet and a little snowy. So tell me what you're doing here. You got a comic book store or a mail order or and that type of thing?
Well, what happens, the Passaic Book Center has been around since 1966, a really long time. We have a whole multitude of things. Besides comics and fan magazines, we also have regular books, which are fan books. You're talking about things from, you know, let's say Star Trek when it first came out, the new books we're able to get.
Let me talk to you then a little bit about this. The passions of comics and the art and all. I mean, take it you've been doing this or into this for a long time.
That's right. We've been doing this thing a very, very long time. Me personally, I only wish I was in it about it's 1997 now. I wish I was doing it about 10 years ago when they had a big explosion of things that were going on.
Years back, I used to read, a little older than you, being Vulcan, a comic called Herbie. They still do the Herbie comics? No? Never heard of him? Little odd fella.
Well, he's the little car, right? Herbie the car?
No, Herbie was a guy who had a lollipop and like, if somebody yelled,
chubby guy.
That chubby guy. Okay. Yeah, you know of him. You heard of him?
I've heard of him, yeah. Because when you start to do representations of, you know, little things, you know, when you talk about like Archies like this, I mean, you know, classic stuff, you know, where you have, and it's like in pristine condition, and then people rummage around. That's the nice thing that you love to see. I see kids nowadays that they're about 7 years old, and they're looking at some of this old stuff, and they know they never saw it before. You should see the expression on their face.
It's new to them. Well, give me an idea, a little history of comics. Maybe we could do that. I see you got a lot of stuff up. You know, go back a little bit and bring me up to date if you can.
Well, I may not be an expert on this stuff when it comes to that. You caught me on a bad part of it, but I know this. When you're able to have the acknowledgement of writers, okay, artists, other people that contributed to the art of the comic book, okay, and you're able to really appreciate that, then you know you have something, okay, because it's not just a comic. It's not just a little magazine thing. There's a whole culture nowadays that's having a resurgence, and it's something that is very, very nice to see.
You know, what amazes me is I bought my son a Batman comic book, and I haven't seen a Batman comic in 30 years. And the timid little comic didn't look the same.
Well, there's going to be differences according to who's going to be doing the actual work. I see things nowadays where they're incorporating the things of the political correctness nowadays and what's happening in society. It's seeping into the
I
comics.
saw that in the dialogue. It had references to actual things in the news, which I was like really surprised. Even the characters, the look didn't have that soft look. There was more of a sharp, pointy, and the coloring looked a little more gothic.
I know. Well, that's the only thing that when you have people that are working in the art world today now with the comics, slowly but surely, even subconsciously, some of that stuff is seeping into the work.
Right.
You know, so you're gonna notice a lot of that. When you see the work from before, and you do have an appreciation of it, and you know what eras that came from, you know, and you get the chance to study some history too, to say, look at all the things that were going on then, and what they were able to put together in a story, and the panels that they were able to do. It's clearly vastly different, but people are starting to try to do more of the classic things once again. It's difficult because you have new technologies, but that's the thing that's really nice, that you're able to get more people involved with it.
Right. Now, I'm just reading across the back there. I see Shock, I see G.I. Comeback, Three Stooges in comic books, Crime
Photo
Detective.
covers, sure. You have photo covers way back, you know?
I've never seen that. I see here Aquaman, that's another favorite of mine. Out in the Riverhead area, we had an Aquaman out in the aquarium, but not really. That's a joke of mine.
I'm sure he drowned by this time, no?
Well, I don't know, but they're working on it. Working on getting him back there.
That's excellent. As long as you're able to do that, that's fantastic.
What's the boy comic? What's that?
That's a pre-code item, meaning this. There was such a thing as a code to be followed for a sexual content, something that's overly gory and in the horror aspect of things, super blood and gore. So there was a thing before the code aspect came in, and that was a pre-code item that they had certain types of stories that were what you see in some of the more modern comics today, where it's a little bit more sexy for that era. Some of the content of what was going on, a little bit racy, you know, for the era, you know. But it's nice that, you know, as people are able to have that appreciation, too, on that aspect of things.
I see classics on this wall over here, which would be hard for us to show you. But there's Flash, who's still around. I'm just looking across things that I know. Lois Lane's still around. Martin and Lewis. Martin and Lewis are in comic books?
You'd be surprised. There, if you look at a book guide that's like this, that tells you practically everything that's involved with comics, called the Overstreet Price Guide, you're going to find out that they did comics of practically anything and everything that's out there. There's a thing called Classics Illustrated, where they took classic stories of literature and they were able to incorporate those into comics. And that, for that era, when they did that, that got people interested in literature. Even though they may not have the access to the regular books, they had the appreciation by way of those older comics, you know?
I'm just amazed. I just never realized that the comics went into such a diverse area. Well, I appreciate your time on Zenbock's Fantasy Fi.
I do thank you, sir.
All right, I'm sure our paths will cross again. By the way, I hear Apollo Smiles here. She's going to perform today.
That's one of my good friends. Hopefully the rest of our audience is able to appreciate her, too.
Well, my audience knows her well. She glitters. Definitely glitters and hard body. Well, thank you very much. We're going to move on and see what else we can get. I will take this as a good resource material. Thank you. Oh, talk to me about the character that you are, a live anime.
Live action anime girl.
Live action. I left out action. All right.
Can't leave out the action.
Well, tell me about it. What is it you do? I mean, fight? What do you do? Talk to me.
Well, I'm a singer and a songwriter. So in real life, that's what I do. I do martial arts. I perform live. And in the comic book, that's what I do as well. But I get to do it sort of in a more sci-fi, intergalactic element.
I love that. You must have been doing this at an early age, in your own way.
Yeah.
Another one started as a kid doing this, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the
Really
private,
little.
you little, you know. So, where did the comic book come from?
The comic book started about a year ago. Team Smile, which is the company that produces the manga. We kind of got together just sort of through our love of anime and comic books and stuff, and started working together as a team to produce it.
Alrighty.
Can I introduce to you my artist?
Definitely, you should introduce the artist.
This is Peter Kato.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Peter.
And Peter's the most extraordinary artist ever. Yeah.
Oh, you do a great job. The button, that's your artwork.
Yes, sir.
I love the button.
Thank you.
She gave the button to my son, but I kept it. Sorry about that, Typhok. I know you thought you lost it, but Dad had to keep it.
See, now we have to gang up on him.
Yeah, I know. No more hitting, no more hitting. But it was such a cute button. I really liked,
Cool.
Thank you.
I guess you have a lot to work with, though, huh?
Oh, absolutely. It's so wonderful working with Apollo.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more, really.
Well, absolutely. Looks good. Looks good in color comics and all.
Thanks.
So now what I want to do is I want my viewers to take a look at one of your songs, and I think you're going to see Apollo do Purr.
Ah.
We are tucked away in one section of this comic convention, and I am here with Allan. Hi, I'm Zenbock, and you are?
I'm Allan Lane. It's nice to meet you from Neves Comics.
Yeah, tell me, I see you've got some comics in front of you. How long have you been doing comics?
I've been doing, apparently, if you ask my mom, she said I've been doing it before I could write my name, but legitimately, I guess, for about a year now.
Well, no. How long have you been doing comics? Since I have an 8-year-old.
Before I could write my name, put it like that.
Okay. So we got a lifelong thing of comics. So you had an attraction, a feeling inside. You just had to do it.
Yeah, my sister actually bought me my first comic book when I was about 8 or 9 years old.
Which was
X-Men 2.
See, they always know.
17. Well, so I guess I wasn't about 8 then. I was probably more maybe like 9 or 10.
Oh, old guy.
Yeah. But it was X-Men 2:17, and it was a great book, and I just knew that right then, that's what I wanted to do.
They didn't have figurines back then.
Yeah, I know. I missed out.
Yeah, you gonna be working on figurines soon?
Hopefully, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, anyway, tell me a little bit about the art and the style.
The style is what I guess trendy people might call it gothic. It's not necessarily gothic. It's just very dark. I consider it more dark art. It's just very dark. It's more based on emotion and passion
All right,
than
so it's-
the flash and.
So
catching of the
it's a
eye.
feeling thing. And I see over here you have some artwork over here. What's the medium on that?
These are acrylic paintings. I work in oils as well, but I like to work in acrylics. Sometimes you get better effects, you know.
Which comes first, some of the art ideas or the storyline?
I have very bad nightmares, and
Oh, I love that.
they kind of come together. They kind of coincide, and so they come together.
So you're telling me that at night when you're sleeping, your brain is creating those dreams. You call them nightmares.
Oh, yeah.
I call them an occupational creativity, actually. That's pretty good.
I'll buy that.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that, you know. So that you'll be able to come up with a concept and jot it down before you forget it.
Pretty much, yeah. I keep a
Pad.
notepad next to my
Excellent.
my bed.
Excellent. We tell a lot of people to do that, by the way. Keep a little pad by their bed to keep the ideas and dreams.
Keeps them fresh.
Yeah, keep them fresh and jog the memory. You know, so that keeps you busy. And what? Anything else you've been doing besides the comics?
I studied at Tyler School of Art right outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So I study painting. I still do gallery shows. Just doing that, my writing, a little bit of poetry and things like that.
Oh, you write poetry?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we're trying. Actually, the publishing company Neves we're going to release a book of short stories and poems. Hopefully, it'll be out in the spring of '98. It's going to be called When I'm God.
Really? Really? Some religious background?
Actually, not on that book, but I have a religious background. That book is When I'm God, just speaking about just being nice to people because you never know what if your next door neighbor actually wound up being God. So it's just about
You know, I had that concept once that I saw some fella panhandling, and my reaction was, you never know. Maybe that was somebody there that was really God to test my reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
you never know.
You never
But so you're a man of many hats and lots of talent.
Yeah.
You know, well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Just managed to find myself in another corner. This place has got corners. You would not believe how many corners this little convention is. We're tucked away. I'm with Lyman Dally. Hi there, I'm Zenbock.
Zen, nice to meet you.
Hi there. So, I see you have comics, and it's brawn stuff.
Brand new first issue. I do a science fiction adventure series called Max Rep. It's a science fiction adventure series based on bodybuilding. It's run in a magazine called Muscular Development, and it's been out there for 8 years. And I'm self-published my first issue based on the series. Max Rep, short for maximum repetition, and it's kind of Pumping Iron meets Star Wars.
Okay. Well, tell me, how'd you get into this?
Used to be extremely skinny. People used to beat me up in school, and I took charge of it and got
Sand
into
in the
bodybuilding.
eyes? Sand in the eyes?
More like spit in the eyes, actually.
that's
You know,
bad.
it was a
Bad.
rough high school, you know, blue collar America. So I took up bodybuilding to change all that, and I've always loved drawing, and found as the years went on, I was still better at drawing than building muscle. I mean, there's only one Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
And kind of put the two loves together into a cartoon strip. An opportunity came up in the late 80s to publish it, and now I'm self-publishing my book based on money I put aside for it.
Wow, so this is quite an interest. You got an old interest tied into a new interest.
Exactly. I'm trying to bridge a gap between two worlds. I mean, comic book industry, you know, usually looked at kind of frail and meek.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding, obviously it is what it is.
Yeah.
But there's so much fascination with muscle out there. Why not do a nice spoof on bodybuilding?
Sure, sure. You have anything in the back burner?
Back burner is an anatomy book, actually. I used to teach anatomy at the Joe Kubert School of Cartoon for 5 years, and especially when it relates to comic book anatomy. I mean, most anatomy, you know, isn't really drawn very well in comics, and it's part of the overall art form that I think should be improved. So, I'm putting in, probably self-publish an anatomy book based on what I used to teach at the Kubert School a couple years ago.
See, what Zen likes is the fact that people take life's experience from the feeling of the things that got them motivated.
Oh, you got
And
to.
you take them, and when you move into the next thing, you don't throw it away. You carry it over.
Exactly.
You know.
I mean, you know, if you're a vampire, well, then you have a little more to write about that. But how many of that is out there?
Well, not on a bright day like today. You know. Well, I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Walk this place. I've never seen so much comic books. Anyway, I found my way into Intervision. Intervision?
Intervision, yeah.
Intervision. I'm Zenbock, and you are...
I'm Rich Brindisi. I'm the president and creator of Intervision. Next to me is James Jones. He's one of the artists that works.
Hi there.
How you doing?
How goes? I'm Zenbock. Glad to meet you.
Zen?
Good, good. Well, let me ask you a couple of questions here. When did you get into comics, actually?
When I was a kid, maybe about 5, 6 years old, I used to get into looking at the pictures and then from there reading them. And I just was really super into it. Every week I would run down to the stationery store. They didn't have comic stores like they do today. It was basically candy stores, stationery stores, so...
That big rack with the stuff, the
Yeah.
candy on the other side.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, but that really inspired me at that point, and I've always loved comics, and just recently, the past few years, I've gotten into writing them and creating them.
Well, tell me a little bit about what you've got. You've got some new stuff and old stuff? Or...
Yeah, well, basically, it's all new stuff. It's styled after the other stuff that's been out before. I've got many influences, as do the artists that work with me. And 2 titles will be out in January of this year. They can be ordered right now at any comic store.
So you got to the point where you're in all the comic stores?
Yeah, we went through a national distributor. So it doesn't necessarily mean all the comic stores will order our product, but they have it available to
So in other words, you're saying that somebody now is posting your comics so that people that have stores and that type of thing can find out about you?
Exactly, right. It's a national distributor, the biggest in the country. And it also goes into Europe and Canada. So our first character is called Der Vandal, and the premise of him is he's basically a Nazi soldier in 1938 who decides to fight against the Nazis, but retaining his status as a Nazi officer so he could secretly gain information and find out secrets from within that will help him in his goal of rescuing prisoners or helping people get to the underground and so on.
Let me think this now. We got a bad guy, Nazi, who's now really a good guy, and he's going to be like sort of like Superman, undercover.
Well,
No, not saying like Superman, but you're saying is that in his position, they don't really know what he's really motivated to do.
Exactly, but he's not a bad guy.
No, I know he's not.
He's an epitome of a person of good conscience, and you really can't choose what your surroundings are, especially back then. His family had been brought up into it, his father's into it, he naturally got into it, until he saw exactly what was going on the side. And in 1938, that's when it really started.
Right.
The persecution really started from that point on.
So we got an old human story of being in a bad situation, making the best of it.
Exactly.
I love it. I love it.
Fates 5 is the second title. That'll be out in January also. That's these guys up here. We took characters from literature that everybody knows. We have Frankenstein's monster, Merlin, Captain Nemo and the Nautilus. We have Dracula, and we have Raynor Rex, the ruler of Atlantis, the lost continent. We've banded these guys together, taken from the past and brought into the present to fight an invasion of a cosmic being and his alien horde into the earth.
You know, that is the most perfect story I've heard here from my show, because we've been around with some of the fantasy and legends and lore, and even rumors of having some galactic and intergalactic people in our show, too. Right. So that's a great combination.
Yeah, it's got a lot of horror, sci-fi, and superhero element to it, so we have high hopes for that book. Jimmy is the artist of, one of the artists on the book.
All right, well, let me talk to Jim for a second here. Jim, we're going to, oh, it's all right, you can stay here. Last time I did an interview like this, I had a guy between us go, so anyway, and don't on the table. All right, anyway, so Jim, what are you doing here? I see you sketching.
Yeah, I'm working on a page from the 4th issue of the book.
All righty. And what characters you got going on in here?
This is well, you can't really see it too well now.
Oh, we'll get a shot of that.
Yeah, this is the Transgressor and Merlin and Raynor Rex from Atlantis.
How long you been doing the art?
Oh, I graduated from School of Visual Arts in 1990, and I started when I was a kid.
Oh, now that's what I want to go back to. What age you start at?
Oh, God, I guess it was around 6 or 7, I suppose.
6 or 7.
Copy my other comics. You know.
No, that's great. So in other words, you're doing something that you started as a kid from in here.
Oh, yeah.
And you continued it.
Yeah, from way back then, as long as I can remember, I used to draw.
Got a secret for you.
What's that?
Secret is don't ever grow up.
I'll try.
We're all trying that.
You know. Well, I thank you guys for the time.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Hope everybody likes the book.
Oh, I'm sure everybody will.
Great.
Here with Tiff once again.
Hey.
Hey,
How are ya?
Good. You know, we're in a church this time.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Catholic schoolgirl outfit. I think it's a little bit proper.
Yeah. Well, last time I saw you, it was a movie coming out. This time it's a tape. And, so what's been going on with you?
A lot of stuff. Actually, our film Heavy Black Smokestack just came out on video. It's in a lot of video stores around the city. It's doing quite well. It won second place in the Forte International Film Festival for the experimental venue, which is pretty cool. I'm doing a film with Tom Savini next fall, actually.
Not the one in Spain.
No, not the one in Spain.
Okay.
It's a new one. It's
new one?
In the fall. It's called Vampirates.
Vampirate.
And Tom Savini is directing it. It's about Blackbeard the pirate. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
And what do you do in it?
I play the lead female character who gets half turned into a vampire, half not. And
does that mean you get half a Sunday?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool film. It's going to do really, really well, I'm sure. Probably B+ to A- type film. So.
Well, I always talk to Tom about him using the use of red a lot. He seems to have a thing about blood.
He has a thing about blood.
Yeah. You're not going to get. You're going to get blooded up again.
I don't. Not in this.
Really?
Not.
You don't die or anything?
I don't die. I'm actually the last person in the film. Me and Brink Stevens, and I'm on a beach in, I think it's St. Martin or St. Thomas.
Oh, I've been to St. Martin. It's kind of fun.
Petting my little dog at the end, and so it's pretty cool. Room for the sequel there.
Yeah, all right, the sequel. Yeah, right. There'll be 2 videos then.
Exactly.
Exactly. So how you find the convention over here?
It's going good. It's a little bit slow today.
Weather is bad.
Rainy. Weather's terrible, but Chiller was great.
Yeah.
Chiller this year was pretty cool.
It was amazing. Chiller had tremendous amount of rain when I was there on a Saturday, and you couldn't get the cars near there.
The best was I couldn't even get home from there.
Really?
I could not get home. We had floods up to your knees. Which
Show me again. Okay, up to the knees. Yep.
Horrible.
Terrible.
Horrible.
Terrible.
Terrible. But it was still cool because all the people had to stay. We had all the fans that had to stay there and just keep spending more money.
Right, that's the way to do it.
So.
Do you know I had trouble beaming out of there? My beam? Yeah, I had to beam out by the elevators.
What was wrong? It was like
the weather affected it, but I had a little Tybach, my little son, with me.
Yeah.
So humans are passing us again. They do that occasionally.
Don't let them touch you.
Yeah, I know. Oh, well,
Only me.
Well, that's all right. That's all right. Maybe we'll get to do our own movie someday.
That'd be very cool.
Yeah.
That would be
there's a vampire side on me, but my audience hasn't seen it. Actually, I had that going to Chiller. Oh, I have that, but not with me today.
I want to see it, just the effect.
Next time I see you, I'm gonna go for the neck. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Hey, you've been bitten already.
I hope not.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you, like usual. And I hopefully we'll run into each other.
Of course.
You take care of yourself.
Thank you. You as well.
Zenbock has got his fantasy, a tiff.
My mother was a pagan. She lived like a long time ago. My dad was a Vulcan, and that I know. High on a mountain tower, among the clouds. My mother died at 90. My dad, he up and gone away. Zenbock.